By now you will have watched the introductory video of WasteBuddy and thinking that yes, maybe this is a tool I can use. You may also have registered online and you may have been given a download of the zipped up version of the Excel tool and may even have had a quick look. Right, this video is intended to give you a little bit more insight into how the tool is structured. So, this short presentation is structured into 3 different sections. I want to tell you a little bit about the types of worksheets that exist in WasteBuddy. After all, it's a spreadsheet based tool and therefore it's driven very much around the worksheets that connect. I then want to say a little bit about what a scheme looks like. Schemes are the activities that handle waste in WasteBuddy. And then finally I want to talk a little bit about sources and schemes. So, WasteBuddy consists of a collection of worksheets. It's an Excel spreadsheet after all, you would expect that. There is a number of spreadsheets sheets down the bottom, and these are named K1, K2, K3, K1, K2, K3, T1, T2, and so on, and L1 and L2. T1 and T2 are treatment schemes, L1, L2, L3 are landfill schemes, K1 to 8 is a curbside collection scheme, and then you'll find there's an RC1 and RC2 for recycling centres. So they're each built slightly differently to reflect what they need to do. There's 26 of them. That gives you plenty of flexibility. There's then worksheets that are lists. These are lists that you can use to input information into the schemes. It's mainly used through the use of drop-down boxes, and it will contain information perhaps about vehicle costs, contracts, and so on. And then finally there are result sheets where WasteBuddy generates the information into single sheets. So 3 types of worksheets, and it roughly works that lists feed into schemes, schemes then do a lot of the calculation, and that data is brought back together into result sheets. So let me give you an example of 3 different types of schemes that are used and the key elements that feed into those schemes. First thing to note is that down the bottom we have that standard list of worksheets, K1, K2, K3, K4, K5, and so on and so on and so on. And in each of these sheets they all look very, very similar. The coloured text is basically where you do not change, you don't enter any value, you leave that alone. The main thing that you can do is change what's in the white squares. So broadly speaking, we've got some information that we have to provide here. We then take that information and convert into tonnages per year. And then further down we've got to bring some resources to bear. And those resources are generally vehicles, crew, and then other resources that you can define. In this example, the total cost per year of running this particular type of scheme is £200,000 per year. And this is a glass box collection service. You can see we're modelling 5 years, but we could have done that over 25 years. So the key elements in a curbside scheme like this is that we need to say how many households receive the service. We then need to say what materials are collected. In this case it's glass. And we need to then say how much glass we're getting from each household per year. So in this case we're actually getting roughly about 1.2 kilograms per week, but we've multiplied it by 52 to give us 62.4 kilograms per household per year. When we've collected that material, we need to give it to someone or give it to a contract. And in this case we've got a contract set up that I've selected from this list. I could have given it to a Tetra Pak recycler, but actually it should be this glass company here. And in this instance it attracts an income of £22 a tonne. So this scheme has generated 2,400 tonnes of glass for these 40,000 households. There's one other interesting box here that I'll highlight just now, that I can choose whether that material is household or whether that material is non-household. In the UK we distinguish between material that is the recycling performance expressed in terms of household waste, and this is an attempt to try and separate out any commercial waste that might not be regarded as household waste. Many local authorities collect a little bit of trade waste from shops and offices in their collection routes. Here's another example of a scheme. This time, it's colour coded, it's for recycling centres. We're actually looking at how much in kilograms per household per year. We're actually looking at tonnes per year, because there are no households associated with this. And in this case, it's collecting 20,000 tonnes. And we've chosen materials here that can be selected from a drop-down list of materials. These materials here are recycled materials, and then there's a catch-all residual which goes to a contract called L1. L1, as you might guess, is the landfill. These other materials then these other contracts will take the materials according to the negotiated contract that you have. And as you can see, most of them are generating an income. The resources used are again vehicles and crew, and then you can add in your own resources and put them in as you see fit. In this instance we've got 4 hook luff trucks servicing the sites and a couple of residual collection vehicles collecting other material. And in this instance the overall running costs are 921,000. Let's look at a treatment scheme, and this is an example here of an MRF. Now notice that you're not entering any values in here. These materials have been sourced from a curbside scheme called K3, and this material has been brought in totaling 6,100 tonnes. But when it's collected and sorted at the MRF, it goes back out to these contracts. Won't explain this output materials at the moment, but if you had an energy from waste plant, there would be process lost or recovered materials that would need to be balanced out, and that's what this is used for. But in this example we don't need it. I don't have any vehicles servicing the MRF, but I do have some cost associated with it, as you can see here. Overall, I'm generating a net income of 600,000, mainly because my gate fees are generating quite a bit of money. Finally, we have a landfill, and again we don't have much to fill in because the material has come in from other schemes for the landfilling. The only thing I might fill in is some costs associated with vehicles that I might have on site or crew. Actually, I can also manually put these in and just put some values in if I've got that financial information to hand. And my total cost of running the landfill is roughly about 3 million. So I'd like to just say a little bit more about sources and schemes. You may remember that Waste Buddy approaches waste by first establishing where the waste arises. It can either arise at the doorstep, it can arrive at recycling centres or drop-off points, or at recycling points, or possibly even from commercial, trade premises, schools, and so on. So, in this case we always tend to have 4 sources, And we can have a number of schemes, collection schemes, that feed into those sources. In this example I'm showing you here, there are 4 collection schemes that are taking the source of material that arises at the doorstep. We've got 4 schemes collecting commercial waste. This is how WasteBuddy approaches the relationship between sources and collection. So, an outline structure of WasteBuddy. Any questions, you can contact me on the email shown or on our website at Green Oak Solutions.